If you have not seen Susie's video on ShadowRuff yet, I would recommend doing so before going forward, although it is by no means required. You see, ShadowRuff did two videos on Emo's World's commentary on TTC1, the second one being a remake of the first, along with an apology for the first video. And this is the video I want to zero in on for the rest of this commentary, fair warning. You see, according to ShadowRuff, he was just so gosh darn angry at Key's potshot at him at the end of his Sonic King commentary.
This clip make my rage frazzled. Frazzled until I wanted to kick his ass. This clip.
Before going on to express his frustration with Beryl, Tippy, and Sarah's tri-op on TTC2 because it defended Keyblade's potshot.
That was until U3. U3 had to commentate on that video and said, me commentary video on Liam equals harassment milking.
What type of excuse is that? What type of milking equals harassment? Where the heck does that even connect with that? Why? Why?
Of course, this should raise the question of, if his issue is with Keyblade, Sarah, Tippy, and Beryl, where does Emo fit into this? Especially given Emo wasn't even covering the TTC that Beryl, Tippy, and Sarah were. Sorry, do I sound a tad on the annoyed side? Well, that's because he begins the video by talking about his video on me last year.
But I also had one video I regret, and that's Round's video.
Put together with the fact that these videos were commentaries on myself and Destroyer Shy, genuinely got me to wonder if he was trying to pin both of these videos on me in some way. Now looking back, I genuinely think that's a massive stretch and probably not what ShadowRuff was going for. However, I bluntly have no idea why he even brought up his video on me in the first place. But either way, I at the very least still decided to just ask him if that's what he was doing, knowing he would probably say no. Here's what he replied with. ShadowRuff, not in the mood for questions, just not in the mood. F, by the way, he spelled my name E-T-H, not E-P-H. But ShadowRuff, are you deaf? I said I not in mood for feeking questions, alright? Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Sad face emoji, sad face emoji, sad face emoji. Now, for the record, I could not find anywhere where ShadowRuff said he wasn't in the mood for questions. Also, I have to take note of him essentially attempting to paint me as the bad guy for asking for basic clarification, something which, I should note, I wasn't in the fucking mood for. One thing I can't help but notice is ShadowRuff seems to be incapable of just admitting that he's wrong. Now, I'm not saying he can't admit to making mistakes. That's not quite what I mean. What I mean is he can't just do that. He always feels the need to tack something on, something to make it the fault of some outside circumstance he just can't control. Why was his video on Emo bad? Because Keyblade made a potshot at him and Beryl, Tippy, and Sarah defended it. When Neko Shadow said that Key didn't call him a harasser, he didn't just admit the mistake or even attempt to argue her point. Instead, what he decided to do was write a long, rambling paragraph blaming his autism. Or how about when Destroyer Shy called him out for misgendering Emo in his original video on her, and his response was to say, well, how was he supposed to know because Emo had a male voice? Fuck off! Although this is the same guy who randomly decided to speculate that I was transgender because of my long hair, because I don't fucking know. So what do I expect at this point? Toganium said you're either nitpicking or misunderstanding Emmo's points. You reply with, but at least I try to tell her to not do it again as warning. Not do what exactly? Not do things that you will then misunderstand? And I could go on. He can never just admit defeat. There always has to be something more to the story. Even in his apology, he attempts to explain multiple flaws in his commentary by saying he was just under a lot of pressure at the time.
No, sorry. I shouldn't have unleashed my anger at you after all that pressure.
Or his bizarre rambling about some promise he made.
I didn't do anything to him. I didn't break my promise.
It's just an all-around mess. And that's really the best word I can use to describe ShadowRuff's apology as well as his response to any criticism he's gotten so far. It's all just one giant mess as he desperately tries to find some way to not make him the one at fault and fails miserably each and every time. Good night and good luck.